Okay. The next word is veteran, and I remember that this was one of the first words that I collected. This was the word my dad gave me when I came home during reading week in November, I think it was. Yeah, it must have been because of the 11th of November. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, veteran. She woke up screaming. She couldn't breathe and she couldn't move. Her legs were stuck, wrapped around in the duvet cocoon she made herself last night. She panted heavily. When she managed to find the relaxed inhale and exhale she was looking for, she covered her face with her hands. It was no wonder Danny broke up with her. She could barely make it through the night without waking up screaming from a PTSD-induced nightmare. Now that she was awake, she decided that it was time to make some coffee. She hopped out of bed, glided into her slippers, and wrapped herself in her most comfortable woolly cardigan. She drifted through the hallway towards her kitchen, her eyes still begging for more sleep, but she was far too awake to comply. Her mind was racing, still trying to comprehend what it was she was dreaming about only minutes before. She couldn't remember exactly what the night terror was about, but she vaguely recalled memories of her last tour, pasted in bits and pieces throughout the dream. She placed the coffee pot in the machine and waited patiently for the light to turn green. She shook her head, and her short fringe fell in front of her face. While her head was once again buried in her hands, the sudden clanging sound of post being delivered into her letterbox startled her. She grabbed hold of the table and calmed herself down. The light on the coffee machine had turned green by the time she'd composed herself. She flipped the switch and left it to pour into her favourite cup as she went to get the post. A few letters, some flyers, but mostly takeaway menus. She briefly flicked through them, but stopped at one of the flyers. It was advertising a women's veteran support group that meets weekly. She had been told several times by her family, her friends, she'd served with, her friends she went to university with, her doctors, her girlfriends, that bartender from Wetherspoon she poured her heart out to last week when wasted. But she'd been told over and over again to get help that wasn't found inside a bottle. She really wanted to, she really did, but she didn't know how. She looked around her very empty flat. She saw where Danny's armchair had sat before she moved out and took all her stuff with her. She saw the sad, half-filled bookshelf that only had her books now. The kitchen cupboards were bare because Danny was the chef in the relationship and owned all the kitchen supplies. She finally saw how empty the room was and how empty she felt. The coffee machine stopped pouring the hot brown liquid into the cup as she broke down and allowed the salty tears to pour down her face. She shakily grabbed her phone from the kitchen table and called the number on the Veterans Support Group leaflet. "Hello?" a voice said. "Hi, my name's Sasha. I'm a vet and I think I need some help," she said, hiccuping. "Hi, Sasha. My name's Sophia. You are not alone. So tell me what's troubling you."